Bigfoot, but this is a completely different photographer took this one, and this is in Willow Creek. Willow Creek is where the original Patterson-Gimlin Bigfoot was found.
And have there been more sightings, more vocalizations than anywhere else in the country? Is this where there's...
Well, there's different things that are classified as sightings, and from what I've read, it seems like a lot of these ones that take place in Willow Creek are vocalizations, and to me personally, vocalizations add up to a big fat nothing, because
that's finding Bigfoot. It's all vocalization.
Exactly, big fat nothing, because there is no official record.
Wait. What about the guy that in particular there's an expert?
Yes,
I don't remember his name. He's an expert on the language of Bigfoot.
Right. I don't know. I've seen him talk about some recording on Bigfoot, and then he comes to formulate its entire language based on.
He does seminars on. He discusses the whole language, and he breaks it down. He breaks down the language and everything.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I mean, but I don't know.
So to say it's a big fat nothing, I don't know. That's.
Well,
you should say that.
To me, it is. It's a big fat nothing because anybody can come up with a big. I heard a yell, and no, that must be Bigfoot. It's nothing as far as proving.
There's some pretty blood curdling hair standing on the back of your neck.
Yeah, and it could be
sounds,
people. Well, it could be people yelling that.
They don't sound like people, though.
Well, can you make a noise that doesn't sound like a person? Can you go? Does that sound like a person?
Possibly, but it doesn't sound like what I've heard as far as recordings of Bigfoot.
To me, it's anything I've heard that seems to be related to Bigfoot can be emulated by a human being.
So you think that's all fake?
Well, I'm just saying. I don't know if you're not going to make a comment on that. I just.
Well, that's what it sounds like.
I'm just saying it's not. It means nothing as far as actually calling that a sighting.
The guy that goes into the whole language is pretty convincing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to each his own. I'm just saying that.
So you're on the side of it's a bunch of baloney.
I'm saying.
Just come clean.
I'm saying you can't.
It's one or the other.
I'm saying you can't determine it to be one way or the
so
other. So
to
why?
You, it's crap.
Yeah, as far as proof of Bigfoot, just having recordings of somebody going or whatever is just it's just nonsense.
That's a shame.
Well, I'm going by photos like this. Don't you think this?
Okay, but you got to have. I mean, this is strictly just photos and some video. I mean,
which is phenomenal.
Well, I'm not arguing that point, but let's hear Bigfoot. I mean, he's walking around, cruising around, and doesn't make a sound.
Well, maybe we'll get some. You know what? That's not a bad idea. But I'm just saying. If I have to tell you if I have to relate
You're
some.
You're awfully vocal.
If I have to relate some Bigfoot stories. About sightings, and a lot of them are just, I heard a yell somewhere. I can't talk about that.
That's strange. It's disturbing.
It is, but
it's shocking.
It's something I can't necessarily talk about unless I emulate the call. I say, well, I'm talking. There was a Bigfoot sighting in 2004, and the Bigfoot went whatever, and then you say, oh, well, that's fantastic. But then if it's something,
I don't quite think I've ever heard it.
Thank you. And now if the same thing was in 2004 was actually some woman getting abducted and impregnated by a Bigfoot, that would be infinitely more interesting, would it not?
No, that would be interesting. I think that would like that.
And that leads to the next subject we'll conquer in the next episode.
And what's that?
That is Bigfoot adult stories.
What?
Yes.